Welcome to the first episode of Writing and Illustrating a Children's Book Journey. Emphasis on the journey because this is not a video about how to illustrate or write a children's book because I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. But that's the point. I'm gonna learn as I go. I just want to get the idea that's in my head out there because I like the story idea that I have and I want to illustrate a book, and so I don't want to let perfectionism or doubt stop me. And the purpose of these videos is going to be to document the journey, to hold myself accountable, and to romanticize the process. And I don't mean like make this into something that it's not. I just mean like I want to be grateful through this whole process of the opportunity and the chance to just be creative and do something cool like this. Like I should enjoy this. It should be fun. I don't have to be like scrunched down, sweating, drawing on my iPad, like worried or stressed. Like this can be an enjoyable process. You know, I could go to a coffee shop and I could work on it. I could light a candle and have a cup of coffee with me. And I want to really soak in the whole process versus like trying to skip ahead to the end so that I can see the finished product, which I am really excited about, but I want to enjoy the whole thing. So to back up, all of this started when I got an iPad in like early college years because my brother had one and he was using an Apple Pencil and Procreate. So that's why I originally got it. And I started to design greeting cards. That turned into my small business, Moss Collaborative, where I designed greeting cards, notepads, stickers. I made a coloring book. I would sell some prints that I took. I started selling on Etsy, and then I started selling only at in-person markets. And it just kind of got to the point where I felt like it had run its course. So this summer is going to be my last market season. And I'm just ready for something different. I kind of wanted like a bigger scale project, and I feel like this children's book is that. And I had the idea for this book like probably 2 years ago. It's been ruminating around in my head for a while, and I actually did finish the story piece of it pretty early on. I looked into a couple like general children's book things, like the main characters should have something about them imperfection wise that people can relate to. And it's really important for that main character to be the one to solve their own problem. So instead of having someone else come in and save the day, it's like showing kids that the main character can solve the problem. And then also having multiple attempts. So 3 was kind of the number that I heard of like attempts to solve the problem until it finally works, to, you know, kind of show some resilience and just showing the journey of ups and downs. So I was able to fit all of that into my story, but I didn't try to illustrate it right away. I think I had some reservations about like what the whole process would be, and it feels daunting. I realized like, okay, I really should try to illustrate this. So I had my first try at illustrating it last spring, and I was trying to figure out what the style would be, and I really like chicken scratch, rough sketch, drew all of the pages, and I fully did the first page, and it wasn't looking right. Like it didn't feel right, and so I stopped. Fast forward to more recently, I've been doing some coaching sessions, and I call her my life coach, but that sounds really bougie and fancy, and I don't mean it like that at all. It's just like basically time where I can talk about like ways that I might be getting in my own way or things that I want to grow in or whatever. I was talking to her about some of the things that I experience, like when I'm trying to just be crafty or creative, like sometimes I can just get so caught up in like, what could this be in the future? And she called it future tripping, which I love. And I was future tripping about this book. I was working on the pages, but I would like fast forward to like, what's the end result going to be? And then I would feel super behind, and then I would kind of rush myself, and then I would be unhappy with how it looked. And so she kind of encouraged me to be more organic in the process and to like just enjoy the process for what it is. That helped me reapproach this project with kind of a low pressure mindset. I was like, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. If it takes a long time, it takes a long time. Like I'm not gonna rush it, and it's never gonna get done if I don't at least just try it. There were some bumps and learning curves, but being okay with some of the front end stuff taking longer was really key for me. So I took another stab at it, and I liked it a lot more, but I still felt like it was missing something. Like it didn't feel like a fully built out page. Ultimately, I went on YouTube and I watched some videos from other children's book illustrators that kind of shared like their main tips or like their main takeaways. And for some reason, I had resisted doing that in the first place. And I don't know if it's just like, I wanted to be like, I did it on my own, which like that's stupid, because why wouldn't you just look for advice from people who have done this 1,000 times before? But I think I had some like weird pride thing floating around where I wanted to like, oh, I did this like myself. No, like lean on the people who have done this before and learn from them. Glad that I got over that barrier. And I think really deep down what it was is probably that I didn't want to hear that I had done something wrong and have to like redo parts of it. Realistically, like there were a lot of like helpful things that I learned. For one example, like framing the actual focal point, and so like having pieces that are like up close and like in the background, and muting those colors because those don't matter as much, and like you don't have to put 100 pieces of detail on everything, like just detail out like the main focus. It made my book better, and so I was excited about that. But then I was like, wow, this looks so much better than my first attempt. It looks a good amount better from my second attempt. And then I almost got in my head where I'm like, if I thought that was good back then, and I think this is good now, is there another version in the future that's just so much better than this one? And then I was like freaking myself out where I just didn't even want to do it because I'm like, it's never gonna be as good as it can be. And I don't know if it's that I didn't want to waste this on like a good book idea, but I'll have other ideas in the future if I want to do it again. And I feel like I keep refining it. That's a good thing. So it's almost like I was taking the good thing and like twisting it. And I think that's what doubt will do. And so I was like, please just make the book. And so I took a pause from that again. It was a shorter pause because I started thinking about what are some businesses that I want to start? Like if Moss Collaborative has kind of run its course, what do I want to do next? And so I was thinking like, I want to be a birthday party planner. That's kind of just like a dream of mine. So I was like, oh, okay, how can I implement that now? And so I started planning it out. Like in my notebook, I was writing things down and different like birthday party options, and like it was really fun. And then I started thinking like, do I really want to give up my nights and weekends on that right now? Because like I feel like that was one thing with Moss Collaborative. I didn't love having my weekends be full when I work all week. And then I was like, I should try something that I can do on my own time whenever. And then I was like, Lauren, the children's book, you have an idea already. Like you don't need to be searching in these other places. And I recently took the head, heart, gut assessment, and I'm mostly heart. And it's basically just like how you make decisions. It was like a work thing, but I feel like it applies to this kind of stuff too, where hearts can get caught up in like endless possibilities. And that is so me. Like I just start thinking about all the different options, and I'm like, just focus on the one thing that like you think is a good idea and that you want to do. And so I honestly got kind of frustrated with myself because I'm like, I think I'm a creative person and I think I'm like so good at doing all this stuff, but then I never actually follow through on what I'm doing, which that's black and white thinking because I do follow through on stuff, but that's just where my head was at that point. And so I wrote a threatening letter of encouragement to myself, basically saying, just do it. So I decided that I was going to sketch all of the pages by the end of May. And at the day that I'm recording this, it is May 24th. That has helped me, just having that goal. I've gotten pretty far and I think I can do it. So we're on track for that. And as I was deciding to sketch everything again and just kind of like start fresh, I realized that I was using a 2000 by 2000 pixel canvas and I wanted to be using a 4000 by 4000. So I was like, thank goodness I figured that out now. And the other thing that I did after I realized that it was okay for things to take a little bit longer at the beginning, I had done like rotational sketches of my main character and the dog, and that helped me so much in the sketching process already. And that was something I learned from a YouTube video. And just to show some examples of how it looked at the beginning versus now, I decided to change the dog to actually be after my dog. I used to want a Frenchie, and so I started thinking like, oh, that would be cute to like have a Frenchie in it, but now I have a dog. I want her to be in it. I changed her name to Scraps because that's my dog's name, and I changed the look of her, and it's kind of nice because I have a real life model. And just the general style change. I was trying to go for kind of like a colored pencil, like sketchy crayon type, and then I realized that I wanted to go kind of a different direction. And then I ended up changing her hairstyle, and then I realized I wanted her to look more cartoony. I felt like I was trying to make her look too real, and that was tripping me up a lot because then there were certain like positions or like arm movements that I was like, how do I even illustrate that? And then I'm like, I want this to be whimsical and fun. So I can make her like not as realistic and make her look more like fluid. Then I changed her outfit, which again kind of was in line with the whimsical and like fun nature of it. Like having her in that cute little dress was gonna be a lot more fun for me to work with. So now as I go through and sketch out the rest of these pages, I guess we'll see what other changes happen. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you can be encouraged in whatever creative project you're working on.